guys, I'm Hina the Fashion Doctor and welcome to my channel where I confuse you about my hairstyle and occasionally talk about books. I was actually looking at a couple of my previous videos and I realized I hadn't done a video about books for a while. So obviously I have to bring some more books to you guys. Just a reminder, this is not a book review. I'm not going to give these books ratings. It's just a book talk. I'll tell you who the audience of these books are and you can rate it for yourself. Today, this is kind of like a second part of the coffee table fashion books that I did. And I have 3 more books for you guys. The first book I have for you guys is The Little Dictionary of Fashion by Christian Dior. And this book is one of my favorites, and the obligatory post-its show you that I've really read through it. This book is literally a dictionary. It will give you fashion words from A to Z, from accent to zest. And I feel like this book is kind of like a little time travel book because it gives you an idea of how fashion was when, Christian Dior was alive. A lot of his advice though is very sound and can be used even for today. There are even parts of the book that made me laugh, just because his perspective is of course limited to his era. So there's this one part under the heels section. Christian Dior writes, "Too high heels are vulgar and hideous and uncomfortable, I should imagine." And I couldn't stop laughing because imagine if he were alive today. But the basic advice is to wear them as high as your grace can carry. Doesn't look very good if you're wearing super sexy high heels, but you can't really walk in them. It's also uncomfortable. So in a way, I would actually follow his advice. Just wear whatever is comfortable to you. There are a couple other things that he says in this book that kind of stuck with me the first time I read it. Like the section under interest, he says, "However much you admire a certain frock or coat on somebody else before you wear a similar one yourself, you must think to yourself, what will this do for me?" And that is a very valid point. Like, okay, sure, this looks great on that 6-foot model, or this looks great on your friend, but if it doesn't do you any good, put it back, girl. There's something else that's made for you. And under the jewelry section, he's written something I really like. "To wear a big diamond on your finger means only that you have a lot of money. It means nothing in elegance," which I totally believe that. I mean, just because you have money doesn't mean you have class or style. That is something you acquire. And he goes on to say, "I think the quality of the stones, the design of the jewel, and the perfection of the workmanship are much more important than the size of the stone." I also completely agree with that. As a designer, I feel like I am so much more attracted to dainty pieces that look like they've been really designed by someone and there's some thought to it. And of course, if the stone's quality is good, resale value, that thing is gonna sell for a lot more. I also like that Christian Dior mentions some keys to good dressing. He says that simplicity, grooming, and good taste, the 3 fundamentals of fashion, cannot be bought, but they can be learned. And I agree with that because you think about it, all these celebrities, they get stuff that is hot off the runway. And a lot of times they look amazing. But sometimes you kind of wonder, okay, it doesn't look that great on this person. And it's not just because, they're not 6 foot and the garment isn't tailored to them maybe. It's also because it doesn't show anything about their own personal sense of style. They haven't kind of found out what their taste is. And I completely agree with Christian Dior that it has nothing to do with buying fashion. It's about developing that sense of style and class. There were even some parts of this book where I thought to myself, wow, Christian Dior knows exactly how I feel. He mentions under the lingerie section that real elegance is everywhere, especially in things that don't show. It is psychological too. Even if you had on the most beautiful frock, you could never feel your best if you knew that your lingerie was not equally beautiful. I have to agree, when I'm wearing something extra special inside, it just shows on my face. So good for you, Christian Dior, you knew how a woman felt. In conclusion, I really enjoyed this book, and so you can tell from the number of little post-its I have here that I refer to it. It is cute, it's got pictures, it's got some sassy comments, it's got some notes on how to wear different colors. I think it's from this book I learned that gray is a very wearable color no matter your skin tone. So I recommend this book. I recommend it for people who have coffee tables, people who are into fashion, people who actually buy from the House of Dior and want to know more about who Christian Dior was, because he knew women in that time and clearly this time too. So check this book out. It's cute, it's small, it might be for you. On to the next book I have for you, New York Through a Fashion Eye by Megan Hess. For those of you who have seen my first part of Coffee Table Books, this was the same author of Paris Through a Fashion Eye. And she is this amazing illustrator who goes to different cities to travel for work, and she writes about them and she illustrates about these places she's been to. These two books are similarly organized. They have places to go, to do things and activities in, places to shop, places to eat, and places to stay. And guys, this is more than a Google review. It's nice how many details she has about each place. She also has the address, and she has a beautiful illustration. You can tell that, you know, she's been there and she's experienced these places, and it's just something I recommend because it's not just visually adorable, it's also full of details that might inspire you to write up a new bucket list when you want to go to New York. I know that there are certain designers and even bakeries that I started following on Instagram after looking through this book because they looked so intriguing, and they're part of my bucket list now. I love that she mentions the New York Public Library, and she also notes that Sex and the City, specifically the wedding scene, was shot there. There are tidbits of information like that throughout the book, which make it even more interesting. She mentions Fashion Week. She doesn't just mention like Chanel, Vera Wang, Christian Dior. She doesn't just mention designers, she mentions flea markets, which now I want to go to the Kelsey Flea Market. That is on my bucket list of things to do when I go to New York. And she mentions the Fashion Week. One of the chocolatiers that now I follow thanks to Megan Hess is Maribel New York. Their chocolates look delicious and artistic, so I have to visit this place when I go to New York. Right on the next page is the Magnolia Bakery and their cakes and their cupcakes. Oh my God, I need to visit this place too. So it's filled with things to do, places to see, and places to stay at when you're in New York. I definitely have to visit some of these. I would recommend this book, not just for your coffee table, but for people who like to make detailed itineraries filled with places that aren't just on Google and, you know, details you want to know, for people who have been there and can illustrate it and spark your imagination. Last but certainly not least, we have Who, What, Where by Hilary Kerr and Catherine Power. This book is kind of like a personal styling book, and I love the quote they have in the first chapter. It says, "Fashion is not something that exists in dresses only. Fashion is in the sky, in the street. Fashion has to do with ideas, the way we live, what is happening." Coco Chanel. So basically, this book is divided into different chapters based on where you can almost draw inspiration for your personal style. They actually go through the steps of making your own inspiration board so that you can, you know, follow your instincts and make your own style sense, while at the same time being inspired by celebrity fashion and the runway. I like the fact that they mention that not every trend is for everybody, which is very true. And there's this part of the book where they tell you to choose a celebrity doppelganger. Apparently mine is based on the pear-shaped body, so I get J-Lo and Misha Barton. It kind of explains, you know, what trends to try. Shirt dresses, straight leg jeans, A-line skirts look good on pear-shaped bodies, and vests. So I guess when you see these celebrities, you can kind of gauge how your body type will look in the clothes that they're wearing. And I like that, that's different. And it goes through basically celebrity styles in detail. It goes through celeb trends. So it's a very celebrity heavy book. And it makes sense because Hilary Kerr, one of the authors, was an associate editor at Elle, and Catherine Power was a West Coast editor of Elle and Elle Girl. So it makes sense that they are choosing celebrities to base it off of. They also go into makeup and what to wear on certain occasions. In case you need the inspiration, this is the book for you. I feel like it goes into a lot of detail in case you really need to jumpstart your own style while, kind of staying trendy and more in tune with celebrity fashion. This book is for you if you're into that. Okay guys, that's all I had for you today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It had been a while, so I thought I need to talk about books again. And of course, I've read more fashion books. Let me know if you actually have books that you recommend to me. My next book episode, I'm gonna branch off a little and do something that I can't talk about because now I need to be all secretive about my future projects. No, but let me know because I am branching out into non-fashion books too. So just comment below if you have any recommendations for books to read. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And by the way, this is a wig, in case you're wondering why my hairstyle keeps changing in every book. Oh wow, I'm so sleepy. In every video. Oh my god, I need to go to sleep. Like, my hair is a mess. My hair is a mess. Yes, I need to go to sleep. Okay, bye guys. I'll see you next time.